It's just kind of stupid that they would even put their best players or all of their players under that kind of a risk. Dalton has missed time with injuries, and AJ Green has missed time. I mean, you just haven't had any time to build with these guys when you're always missing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Oh boy. The thing for the Bengals though, that, if I'm looking at it from an outsider's point of view, and I'm looking at the fact that, the Steelers lost some pieces, but at the same time, they gained a little bit. We talked about addition by subtraction. Then you look at the fact that the Browns are really only getting better. So the Browns are nowhere near the last place team in that division anymore, by all accounts. I mean, unless I'm completely surprised. The Ravens might be the third place team in that division, and yet they're still probably way better than the Bengals at this point. So if I'm the Bengals, this is now, there's two problems here. Number one, you lose AJ Green, and it's right now going to be a couple of games, maybe a few games. But the problem is with ligament damage, high ankle sprains, things like that, you're a wide receiver. To me, Justin, I think this injury is going to linger on. You've seen that happen with Tyler Eifert. You've seen that happen with AJ Green in the past. Lingering injuries to feet for wide receivers is tough because the NFL is such a speed league. If you can't cut and you can't run your routes and you can't make the things that get you separation from the defensive backs, you're just basically ineffective. So these injuries force them to come back a little bit too early, and then it lingers all season long. To me, if I'm a Bengals player right now, I'm thinking, oh crap, we've got the Browns, the Steelers, the Ravens, and now AJ Green is already out. This season is probably already feeling like a little bit of a loss, a little bit behind the eight ball. That's why I'm thinking it's rebuild time. It is total, absolute rebuild time. You're not looking at this year. You're not even looking at next year or the year after. You're looking at how good are we going to be in 2025 when Roethlisberger's definitely retired, when, we don't know if Baker Mayfield is still on the Browns, when we don't know, you know what I'm saying? So to me, I think the Bengals need to have that kind of outlook, because for right now, this year, the next couple of years, you're done.
All right, Patriots call tomorrow. You're running the Bengals. They offer you a second-round pick for AJ Green. What do you do?
I take it.
All right, maybe that's too easy. What about, let's see, a third and a sixth?
Yes, I still take it. Anything fourth or lower, meaning fourth or higher. When I say lower, I meant lower number digit. Yeah, fourth or higher in the draft, I'm taking it, because there's wide receivers or other players, running backs even, in the third and fourth round. Look at what the Rams just picked up in the third round, running back from Memphis. I'm telling you right now that the Rams see something in that kid from Memphis, averaging 8.9 yards per tote, where he's a backup plan for Todd Gurley. And so, sure, if you're thinking about rebuild, if you're truly in that mindset, and you don't even know if AJ Green's ever going to be the same AJ Green he was, or if this season's a total loss, and the Patriots say, yeah, we'll sit on him for 6 months and give you a fourth round pick or a third, I'm taking it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think you made a great point about the division. It's a good division. The Browns are up. You'd have to think the Steelers, with all the drama behind them, they'll at least be at the same as they were, if not better. They've made some upgrades on the defensive side. They've tried to finally get somebody in there in the linebacking core that can take that Ryan Shazier position of leadership, be kind of the stalwart of the defense that they need. The Ravens are the big question mark of what are they going to do with Lamar Jackson? I mean, guess they're going to run the hell out of him, according to Harbaugh, is what it looks like. But the Bengals are far and away the worst team in that division. So, yep, it's time now to rebuild. It's time to start storing up draft picks, try to build up your team. Wait for the Roethlisberger years to end. They don't seem to have a succession plan behind him. You don't really know what's going on with the Ravens. And if Mayfield continues to perform, he's going to be in line for a huge deal in a couple years, and maybe they'll fall into the cap purgatory and lose some of their talent. So it's all about setting yourself up for when that happens. And that's your chip. That's one of your best talented players on your team. And if you can get, like you said, anything that's 4 and above, especially if you could get a 2 or a 3, I think you got to take it at this point, because you don't want to end up like the next team, which is the New York Giants, who don't have any wide receivers yet left, I think. And they are a team that should be in the rebuild mode, Eric, but they think that they're in the reload mode. And I don't know what they're reloading for, because they haven't won anything in a long time now. So they get rid of Beckham. He was the problem in the locker room. They've got Shepard. They go out and they sign Golden Tate. They brought in Corey Coleman, who was probably going to be a wide receiver 4 or 5 special teamer at best anyways. But now you've got Shepard with the thumb injury. Tate's getting a 4-game suspension for a fertility drug. And Coleman's got a torn ACL. So now you're with Cody Latimer, Benny Fowler, and a bunch of people that no one will really know until about round
Darius
15.
Slayton? You don't like Darius Slayton?
He was my sleeper pick in round 25 of our upcoming fantasy draft. So, thanks for spoiling that for me. But now, Eric, outside of that whole wide receiver issue and those guys coming and going, and even Evan Ingram has had some injury issues that he's dealt with. So you've got Saquon, who seems to be the guy in this offense, but they spent a very high pick, a very controversial pick on Daniel Jones out of Duke. So with the lack of talent on the wide receiver position that could be around him, especially to start this year, and who knows what the rest of the year could look like, do you think that's changed the Giants' plan any, where they have to feel like in order to protect Daniel Jones, they have to go more Eli this year? Or do they just turn Jones loose in the kind of the worst situation, and it's either a sink or swim proposition for him or baptism by fire?
Well, I have a couple things to say about this. First of all, coming hot off of the running back conversation that we had just a few minutes ago, man, as I sit here in the studio and I look at my full-size replica Penn State Nittany Lions helmet with Saquon Barkley's autograph on it, I
you don't have it on?
I feel no, but I might put it on just because I feel so bad for the kid. He is going to get used and abused this year because he's going to be their number one running back, their number one wide receiver. He might even throw some touchdowns this year. I don't know. He will be so overused in year 2 of his deal. It's going to be sickening. And I just hope that he does not get injured, because he's going to be in the same situation that Zeke is in a year or two, where he's going, okay, I now have about 5,000 to 6,000 rushing yards in my career, probably another couple thousand in receiving. I've only been in the league 4 years. I need paid because you guys have beat me into the ground. So I just needed to say that I feel bad for Saquon, and I hope that he does not get injured this year. Now, to your point, I feel about this situation sort of the same way I felt about the Sam Bradford situation last year, when we made this joke about, well, how soon do the Cardinals, what's the over-under on how many games Sam Bradford actually plays for the Cardinals after they signed him? I think we could make the same call with Eli Manning. What's the over-under on how many games before they turn the keys over to a Jones? Because the season's gone. I mean, good grief. You're looking at the Eagles, and all accounts are that Wentz is looking phenomenal in practice. They reloaded with some draft picks, not only on the line and in defense, but then they've got another running back from Penn State as a guy that they drafted, looking to see what he can do as a rookie. They're going to be good. And then Dallas is expecting to be good, and they should be good. They should be better than they were last year. And if they get some of these contracts worked out, the Redskins, I don't know where they're going to fall, but they're it's like I just said with the Ravens, they're still way better than the Giants. So Justin, what's the over under on Eli Manning? I mean, 6 games maybe, because even though Daniel Jones wouldn't be throwing to anybody, I still think you can get him that experience on the field and build his future. I mean, unless you're getting him killed. If the O-line's bad and you're getting him killed, then by no means should he be out there. But I'm saying if he's getting good reps and he's at least getting to read defenses and try to see these receivers run routes and game speed and things like that, then I think you let him play the last 2/3 of the season.
With Gettleman running things, who knows? Because he has so much man love for Eli Manning, but he has a lot, it seems, for Daniel Jones too. So I think that's where to me, I definitely think that they would want to try to get their full complement back. I can't see them throwing Daniel Jones out there in the first 4 unless Eli would get injured, because they're not going to have Golden Tate. So maybe once he gets back, he starts playing more, he gets up to speed, he's got the rust knocked off, and maybe they have all their offensive components around Daniel Jones, around Saquon Barkley. Maybe then it's time to turn it over. And I think, Eric, it comes down to which Eli Manning do we see? Do we see the guy last year who was seeing ghosts and was just basically sacking himself anytime someone he acted like he was playing flag football. If he got touched, he just fell to the ground. He was clearly making business decisions. He did not want to take big shots. You have to wonder what this offensive line is going to look like, how they're going to perform for this team. Because if Eli goes out and looks like he did in the first part of last year, the New York fan base is going to call. They're going to want to see Daniel Jones. If Eli looks more like the guy towards the end of the year, where he was standing in there, he was making plays, he was making throws down the field, and he didn't look scared, then I think they could maybe ride it out with Eli and not force Daniel Jones into a bad situation. So, Eric, I think for us, I know a little preview here. Next week, you'll be on a well-deserved vacation. And then when we come back, we're jumping full bore into the NFL preview. And this is going to be an interesting division, this NFC East, because there's a lot of talent at the top, and God only knows what you're going to get out of Washington. Because I can tell you last year, watching Case Keenum, you don't ever know what you're going to get from one game to the other. Redskins, very good on the defensive side, struggling offensively. I guess Adrian Peterson's motivated because he's now broke. So maybe that'll work out well for them. And then who knows what's going to happen with the Giants. So just a little preview there for our listeners that we will definitely, when we come back, we will be right into the NFL, talking about the previews for the teams, breaking down some of the preseason action. But Eric, let's get out of here for segment one. When we come back, oh boy, it's going to be a fun topic. Is LeBron James becoming the next LeVar Ball? Is what he's doing actually good for his son or not? We'll discuss that. We'll also talk a little MLB. The trade deadline has come and gone. Who are the big winners and losers? And will the playoffs bring us some juice finally and get Eric and I interested in baseball, and apparently a lot of other people, because there's a lot of baseball parks that are empty. So we'll cover that when we come back. Let's jump into segment two, and I'll see if I can make my co-host cry here and talk about his boy LeBron James. So this was a story, Eric, you and I were texting back and forth. I saw some videos. I can't use the language I used to describe those videos to you on here without getting that little boxed E around our podcast, so we'll try to avoid that. But this is a story that's picked up some steam. Jason Whitlock went on Speak for Yourself. He compared LeBron's addiction to fame, sort of like a cocaine addiction at this point, which got a lot of people stirred up on Twitter and on social media. But Eric, the videos are out there. LeBron James, he's been at Bronny Jr.'s games here in the AAU. Then you see him joining the layup line. Then you see him out on the court, losing his shoe and having to run back out in the court to pick up a purple shoe that he left out there, and then going crazy with this team. So I got to ask, Eric, is LeBron James, is he becoming the next LeVar Ball here?
No, come on, man. I'd steal a line from Chris Carter. Come on, man. No, LeBron James is not becoming the next LeVar Ball, because LeVar Ball is absolutely deranged. He's insane. The things that he was trying to do with and for his sons just suspends reality. LeBron James is one of the top 3 best basketball players of all time. So already he has more street cred than LeVar Ball, who really didn't even succeed in the NBA or the NFL or in life. So
LeVar averaged 4 points in high school.
Great. And he also thinks that he can take your guy, Michael Jordan, one-on-one today, last year, or back in 1992 when Jordan was dominating the world. So you tell me if LeVar Ball is really all there or not. Now, is LeBron James a bit of a fame monger? Yeah, I think he is. He's also a mogul. He's also an entertainer. He also likes money. And so all of these things he does is for money, which is setting himself and his family up to have financially easy futures, whether his sons play in the NBA or not. He and his mom and his family, his wife, his kids, a lot of extended family, probably Rich Paul, they're all set up for life because of LeBron James being an entertainer and a basketball player. Now, is it a bit of an annoyance for me sometimes? Sure. Is it a bit of an annoyance for people who aren't LeBron James fans? Yeah, I'm sure it is. But nothing LeBron James is doing is against the law or unethical or wrong. It's just slightly annoying. So I don't really have any problem with it. And he has the skills on the court and in life to back up what he's doing. And that's what makes him different than LeVar Ball.
Oh, God. I think I'm nauseated by that. Look, I don't think when I say LeBron is becoming LeVar Ball, it's not in all the insane comments and stuff that LeVar came out with, and all 3 of his sons should be on the Lakers and this and that. But when you saw some of the early LeVar Ball where he was coaching his teams and pulling them off the floor and the antics and going after referees and all the stuff that he did, he was like a sideshow. You weren't focused on watching his kids play. You weren't focused on Lonzo or LaMelo or Jello or whoever the hell else is on his team. You weren't focused on them. You were just watching all these LeVar Ball antics. Here you are watching these videos come out it's LeBron doing all these crazy dunks in a layup line with a bunch